Okay. Hello, everybody. Oh, crap. There we go. Okay. Hello. Uh, I'm back. I was going to be back last night, but we went and celebrated my daughter's birthday. She's made 17 revolutions around the sun, so we celebrated that last night because it was a special milestone, definitely worth celebrating. So. We're going to record a new episode of the podcast Wednesday night. Mr. Betcher, Miss Berlin, and myself are all going to get on, which will be on the eve of InfoSec Campout. So if you were watching Twitter and said, hey, Brian's going to be doing something on the Twitch stream to talk about InfoSec Campout, I'll be doing that as we go through here. If you're attending, great. But I do want to make some of this a video, if you will, for our attendees so that, if they don't like emails or TLDR, then, they'll be able to, get that information in a manner more pleasing to their eye. Hello, all the viewers. Appreciate you coming and hanging out with me. Let's see. So, Oh, by the way, I didn't mean to actually wear this when I got up this morning, but if you're going to Blue Team Con this weekend, Blue Team Con this weekend in Chicago, it does overlap with InfoSec Campout. So, but it is, Frank and them are gonna do a great job on their conference this year. So yeah, go check out Blue Team Con. I got one of these shirts before the first year. So. I'm not going to be in attendance, obviously, but make sure if you put that on your calendar. If they haven't, I don't know if they've sold out, but if they have, try to catch it next year when they put out their next dates. So, okay. Let me see. So, close that. I know I'm not sharing my screen. Don't worry. What I wanted to do was get rid of some tabs for one, but I also wanted to I sent an email out to all of the people who were coming to our conference. Just trying to stay communicative to people, and browser share. There we go. And I will minimize the preview on that. So this was the TLDR that I put out for those of you who are going to the conference. Check-in is at 3 p.m. If you're camping, because everybody who bought a ticket is pretty much going to be camping, or they're going to come out for a little while and then go home on Saturday or whatever. Twitch video that is this explaining this. Weather's actually improved. I don't know how many of you are up here in the Pacific Northwest, but when I was watching Weather Underground, they were expecting a good number of 80-degree temperatures, but it looks like that is not going to be the case. So the temperatures are actually going to be quite mild. When I had originally sent the email out, it was supposed to be raining overnight on Saturday and Sunday, or on Friday and Saturday. It looks like that there's only a slight chance of precipitation now, and the temperatures are actually going to be quite mild. Mid 70s, low 70s, low to mid 70s. This is going to be almost 80 actually. 80, 26 is 80, 28 is 82. So it's going upper 70s on Friday. Very nice day, mid 70s on Saturday, and then the day we go home on Sunday it'll be 75. So excellent weather for camping if you are so interested in coming and joining us. We do have some tickets available on our Eventbrite. If you live in the Pacific Northwest and want to come out for the day, or you want to come and camp with us, you can definitely do so. But yeah, when I had looked at this 10 days ago, it was going to be upper 80s and like mid 80s on Saturday. And now it's actually going to be quite nice. So just goes to show you chaos theory and numerical weather modeling, changes over time. So That's a good thing. And we're going to have, looks like beautiful weather for this after we get rid of this initial heat here, on Thursday. So, t-shirts, for those of you who are coming, you can actually get a t-shirt even if you don't come to the conference. We do have a Square store on InfoSecCampout.com. We do have a Square store if you just want to go and buy a t-shirt to support what we're doing. If you know the code to be able to get a discount, which is only what we give to attendees, you can get a free t-shirt. If you can figure out what the code was, or, if I do something stupid here and actually scroll down to where the code is, have at it. So, we do have other controls in place to keep that from happening. So, masks, we are still, people still have COVID. If you went to Vegas, hopefully you didn't get the souvenir COVID, that everyone else did. And, we're going to be outside for the most part. But if we're all in close quarters, or people are just hanging out in like really close area together, mask up if we can. I'm going to be bringing masks to wear even if I'm outside. I'm quad vaxxed, but I still got COVID when I was in Europe, so that's a thing. Let me see. Oh yeah, and don't come if you feel like crap. So if you do have a fever or you do whatever just because you're outside, doesn't necessarily mean you can't pass it along to other folks. So try to remember to be a better person, and if you have to not come, just let us know. We can work some out. So some of the feedback we got last year was that there wasn't enough to do, and that's on me. I did bring some stuff last year, but I just didn't. Actually, last year I was a bit shell shocked that the tour camp people would actually deign to come and hang out with us. When a bunch of people showed up and they were like, "Oh, you don't know who those people are? Those are the tour camp folks." And I was like, I had no freaking clue. And it was amazing that they came out and did what they did. Trying to sneeze here. And so I brought stuff, but I was like, oh my God, I don't even know if the tour camp folks are, doing tour camp things. And, I was like, I got none of those things. So we've got some things coming up for the conference. General trivia. When I was on the cruise ship in Europe, there were several sessions of trivia of all kinds, whether it be music trivia or TV show trivia or trivia about the Netherlands, of all things. Actually did better than average on that, even though some of it was in Dutch. I forget I don't want to get it wrong. Hold on. Language in the Netherlands. It's Dutch, right? Yes, it's Dutch. Okay, I don't know why I keep defaulting to Danish, but I don't know why. So the guy who was given the trivia would put it in Dutch, and then he would translate some of it to English, and we did okay. We drank for free for a lot of the days because we won a lot of the English trivia stuff. But it got me into a mind of having a trivia session. So we'll have some general knowledge trivia, maybe have sprinkling of some hacker movie trivia inside of it, and we'll have some fun, have some prizes and whatever. I'm going to bring some board games. I've got Backdoors and Breaches if you want to go the InfoSec route or the DFIR route. We have Ticket to Ride. I've got a bunch of other stuff. If you're coming to our conference, please feel free to bring board games or stuff. I've got playing cards out the wazoo, so I'll bring some of those if people want to play spades or whatever. I love me some spades. Yeah, love me some spades. Let me see. LAN party is happening. So as I've shown in previous streams, we have our Think Center running. Actually have somebody who messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm a game developer. I've been working on this game for the past few years. It's open source. It's based on similar mechanics to Worms Armageddon. and I'd love to show it to people at your LAN party. I was like, okay, great. We'll, let's see if we can make it happen. So we will have wireless and some wired connections, but we have more than enough, I think, LAN party games. Quake 3, we have Zonotic, we have Open Raw, we have a bunch of stuff. So, hopefully y'all will be able to come out and do that. Internet's going to be up to you if you're a if you need the internet. I would suggest tethering to your phone. Yeah, I don't do Cards Against Humanity. To be honest, I don't. And welcome, Bonza IMF. Yeah, I don't do Cards Against Humanity. I don't like Cards Against Humanity. I really have to question people who do. Yeah, I'm more of an apples to apples fan, or what was it? Relative Insanity was pretty good. We've done that one before. But yeah, I just never have been a fan of Cards Against Humanity. So, I would also like to thank Corbden, Iren, Ivem Bamoko, Max JXX, Tanacha the Savior, and Brown Wallet. Thank you all for following us on here. And of course, thanks again to InfoSec and Super Lolly 11 for their support by subscribing to our Twitch feed. So there you go. I don't have Cards Against Humanity, but actually I have another game called Shards of Infinity. It's actually not a bad game. I just think that they'd probably Shards of Infinity. It's pretty good. It's got several expansion packs on it. But it's like, it's a different game every time. So you can, pick up various cards. There's actually an app for it. So, you build decks based on, a central pile, attack your enemies, crush your people. It's an interesting game. I have it. I don't know if I'm going to bring it out, because, I've played it a handful of times, but it does have a bit of a learning curve. So, and then, I don't, when I'm playing, I don't want to have to think so much, but it is what it is. So, we have 2 CTFs this year. We had 0 last year. We have 2 this year. One of them is, if you went to tour camp, that one is back. The person who ran the CTF last year said, hey, or this year actually said, hey, not a lot of people did it at the tour camp. So, if you want to use it again, we can. I was like, oh yes, let's go ahead and do that. Because I had nothing and I was worried about like an offline version or something like that. So this will run offline. There's also another one that the Sans Forensics folks, Eric Capuano, who does Sans Forensics. He also does Recon InfoSec. Recon_InfoSec on Twitter, did a digital forensic CTF that was offline. So I have both of those files that was used for the CTF along with the password to decrypt them. And so, we'll have those available either via the Think Center server or what have you to download and play with if you want to do those. The Tour Camp CTF, we're going to do a no starch subscription. We do have a lockpick village as well. So I did talk to some of the local lockpick folks here. They'll be coming out on Saturday around 9 a.m. to set up the area. So that's something we're going to do. But yeah, there's 2 CTFs if you want to get involved, and we'll do a no starch subscription to the winners of the Tour Camp one. I don't know so much about the offline one, the DFIR one, but it's just a nice digital forensics one. I have no idea what the flags are in it. So, that's one reason I was like, if it doesn't work out so well, I don't want to, set, overachieving expectations, because I have not solved the CTF myself, so I don't know what's involved with it. So, movie night is definitely possible. I've actually gotten some comments about movie night. I have, obviously the typical hacker movies like Tron, Sneakers, Hackers. I also thought about The Net with Sandra Bullock, because everyone seems to do hackers and sneakers, but like the net, or we're not going to do Swordfish because I don't like the content in it. It was a shit movie anyway. But yeah, so anything's possible. If we have special requests or anything like that, we can do that. But I thought maybe a movie or two, depending on how long the movies are. Is great. Pizza oven, like I said, the Torque Camp folks came last year. They brought a pizza oven, was blown away by their generosity and making pizzas and things in the open with 800-degree things. Did get a couple emails asking about food allergies. I don't believe the pizza oven folks are going to be making gluten-free items. That some of the food allergies mentioned were like gluten, dairy, peanuts, what have you. If you want to bring stuff, s'mores pizza was awesome. Yes, it was. It was very much awesome. Were you an attendee last year? That was for bands IMF. But yeah, okay, cool. Well, thank you. I hope you're coming back this year. If so, I appreciate that. If not, oh, hey, Ted. Okay. So, Banzo was the one who asked me about the movies and everything. And, yeah, so we'll do like, the net or something like that. Anyway, the pizza oven, is coming back, which is I was just blown away by that fact. Cause we were like, oh, we're just going to, order pizza from the local place. And they're like, oh no, we're going to do this. And, so, we're going to do s'mores again. I'll go get some gluten-free graham crackers. Hopefully, everybody can eat those. We'll also get some regular graham crackers as well. What I didn't want to do was have a bunch of food waste or stuff that was going to go to waste. So, we'll either go to the supermarket in Carnation or we'll go to like the Albertsons, which is up the 203 on the way to Redmond, to, get stuff if necessary. I mean, we can get soda and stuff if, people are, I will again reiterate that there's no adult beverages, in King County at campsites. And we must abide by the laws of the county with regards to the campsites and not having adult beverages. But if people bring Camelbacks with water in them, I can't say anything. But if your Camelback makes you act stupid and you get in trouble, I'm going to be help kicking you out. So just fair warning, if your water in your Camelback has makes you act stupid and you get caught or you do something stupid and you get removed, I'm not going to help you. So there you go. Speaker slots. As I mentioned in the email, we put out a CFP about April, May timeframe. We got one speaker. One speaker. I remind myself that B-Side Seattle was 3 months earlier, and they had several dozen speakers. So, yeah. It was easier just asking people to come and speak, to be honest. So that's what we're going to do again. A couple of folks actually did reach out and say, hey, they've got a talk that they're more than willing to give. So I'm more than willing to let them do so. What we're going to do is probably start around 5 p.m. If you have a lightning talk or something you want to give, we'll have a sign-up sheet where you can do so. Maybe we'll give out a prize or two for best talk. That way we can, get people to, get involved and speak. Internet is up to you. If you do decide you want to speak, if you're going to need a really complicated demo on AWS or something like that, and you need access to the internet, you're going to have to find a way to do that. There's no internet at the campsite. So you'll need to tether your phone, or find a local business, I guess, where you can pull that down. But if it's a little late now, I'd imagine, if you're wanting to do a demo, but I've seen a lot of people do no slides, which is kind of a cool thing. We will have a projector, but definitely check that out. So, all right. So, I will entertain questions from anybody who might be attending. I know I apologize to my normal streamers, people who aren't going to the conference, who just left the stream. I did want to make this section available to the people that are going to be attending. That way they can get a better idea of what's going on. So if there's anything else, otherwise I'm going to just go ahead and continue on with some stuff that I have found in the last couple days. Oh, camp slots. So one last thing before we go. We have all of these sites: 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All of them. The only one we don't have is the campsite host and any of these, which are just strictly tent only, no power, no water, etc. This is a nice big parking lot here that you will probably have to park your car at, because while there are RV spots at each one of these, we actually have almost all of these spots filled with RVs or people who are using their cars. Now, myself, a Tesla camper, I will probably have enough room to be able to put another car in the spot. But, we have 30 some people coming, 30 some cars are not going to be able to fit here. So this parking lot is going to be more than big enough, and it is not that far away from the camping spots. And it'll be on your left when you come in the campsite. So, and the barn is up here, like where L would be, up here. You'll see it on your right when you're driving in. You can't miss it. So, all right. I'm going to stop talking about InfoSec Campout now. Again, if you have any questions, just email us or respond on Twitter. And make sure you get your t-shirts. Like I said, with the code, we're not going to buy a bunch of t-shirts and then have to donate them, or hope that somebody will take home multiple copies of them, like other conferences have done in the past. So that site and the discount code will be up at least until the end of the month, so you can grab your t-shirt if you so choose. So, all right. So I was reading a blog post. Let me see. Let me double check and see where I'm at on the time here. So about 22:45. Okay. That was a longer video than I wanted it to be, but it will be it will be what it will be. So I just saw this. I hadn't had a chance to fully read it yet. It is a state of security of the WordPress ecosystem, and this is dated June. And I don't know why I didn't find it until now. I think actually somebody posted it in our. Yeah. Okay. So Series of Tubes actually posted it in our BreakSec Slack. So this is from July 6th, talking about audits of WordPress plugins. And let me double check. Point. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Okay. So there we go. With rather small effort, a few hours a day, very simple manual audits, identified 110 vulnerabilities in 100 plugins. That's impressive. That's impressive. That's a lot of CVEs. I'm wondering if that. Let's go see if the person found got credit for these CVEs. It's candidate. Yeah. Okay. That's the one thing I don't like about these CVEs. There's no information in them at all, and they may never get updated, or they get updated a long time in the future. So, so let's see. There are a few developers who did not react, and as a result, some of the plugins were closed on the plugin directory by the security team at WordPress until they address and fix these problems. That's interesting. I'm actually glad to see that the security team at WordPress has the ability and wherewithal and autonomy. Is autonomy the word I'm thinking of? The power. I don't want to call it power, because that sounds kind of a negative connotation. They have the ability to do that. They feel like, they have the charter with which that they can pull plugins or close those plugins or remove them until the developers have fixed the problems. Findings were properly reported to the plugin developers, and many were resolved by new patches, but a few developers did not react. Okay, so They didn't react either because they were unhappy or they just don't have a valid email. I mean, there could be any number of reasons why those didn't react, but the plugins were removed or closed until they address and fix the issue. So in summary, many yet unknown vulnerabilities lurking within insecurely written WordPress plugins. That's pretty much, that's pretty much de rigueur, right? I mean, you have a lot of things that I've heard of with WordPress. It's not the core itself that's the problem. It's all the numerous plugins that do things. Let me see, what do we got here for this? I was looking to see if we have any. Okay, so the WPS hide login WordPress plugin for 191 has a bug which allowed the secret login. Jesus Christ. Oh God, which allows to get the secret login page with setting a random refer string and making a request to WP admin options as an unauthenticated user. Jesus. Oh my God, that's terrible. So if this plugin is used on a subdomain and the main domain redirects to the subdomain, the following occurs. Entering the URL and adding, it redirects to that, and you see the URL login and can log in. Wow. That's painful. That's painful. Let me double check and make sure I haven't gotten any email. Oh, we have an email. Let me see. What's this? What's this? This color everywhere. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So there are a ton of bad plugins that leverage or get leveraged by people who build, WordPress sites for things. I would argue that if you can, go with as few WordPress plugins as possible, I think you're probably better off. So let's find one particularly egregious. Ooh, file download. Oh, let's see. Do I have LFI? Before one does not have authorization and CSRF checks when resetting its settings, which allow any authenticated user, such as a subscriber, to perform such actions. Okay. Here's an example. Okay. This plugin does not have authorization and CSRF checks when resetting its settings. Yow. That's not good. That is not good. Oh yeah, see, he's definitely getting some cred right there. Wow, that's interesting. I wonder wonder if it'd be worth it to, do something like this on the reg. Take like a large ecosystem like Node.js and just start doing regular bug checks, because that's one of the things I kind of wanted to do with this stream, because there's other folks that are doing some cool stuff like MT Taggart and Black Sheep Spicy and all these folks. They're doing their own thing, whether it be sim creation. I always wanted to do like code audits or to audit things, maybe not like the wgets of the world, where if I found something crushingly bad, then it would be a race to, responsibly disclose it and not on a public Twitch stream, but maybe like a open source, game or something like that. I always thought about doing something like that. Maybe, we could work through some of those items. So, so yeah, that's interesting. Those are some fairly bad items to worry about if you're using, WordPress plugins. So, I had the link. Where the hell did it go? Doink. There we go. That's not it. Oh. So I bought this book. That's the PDF that I bought here. This is from the DFIR Discord. Somebody had mentioned in the last stream that they had a book out. And this is the crowdsourced DFIR book for the Digital Forensics Discord server. So these folks helped write some of it. Thought about maybe having one or more of them on to talk about it, because it's a beginners to experts guide. So that's pretty good. Just to give you an idea as to what they have here, the purpose of the book. There's a bit of history here on these things. I actually didn't know that they were in the IRC might have been an interesting IRC channel to actually have, because I spent a lot of time trying to find IRC communities that were actually active, other than ping, this person timed out, this person timed back on, that kind of thing. So it's got things like basic malware analysis, password cracking for beginners, large scale Android application analysis, deobfuscating PowerShell payloads, gamification of DFIR playing CTFs. So that one I might actually be interesting to go and take a look at. Playing a CTF, who's hosting types. What I wanted to do is I wanted to create a CTF for the conference this year, but I couldn't figure out how to make that happen. And I felt like I was trying to force it and trying to, speed it up. And the last thing I wanted was to half-ass something. So maybe next year we'll have something for that, and I'll start a little earlier. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a nice big fat book, 212 pages. I'm sure there's some errata. I think that they have an invite to the Discord if you wanted to do that. Lean Pub, actually pretty decent org. I actually picked up. Oh yeah, here you go. So it talks about some of the authors, the editors. Yeah, here's the digital forensics site. Invite digital forensics. I think I already posted this once, but I'll do it again because it's a really great site. I mean, they have a dedicated TI. They definitely have law enforcement and government people on there. They actually have them labeled, I think, in the chat. So you can go and get on in that and start poking around. But yeah, Kevin Pagano, that sounds familiar. Can't remember where I've seen him from. But yeah, I mean, these it doesn't seem like there's a lot of slouches here. So they definitely know what they're doing. And yeah, you can go check them out. So, but it's a good book, and you can actually, I believe, get it for free. But if you're there's a lot of good content in here, so I actually ended up paying how much ever it costs for them to earn $20. So, Lean Pub also did the DA667 book, Tony's book on setting up your lab. Let me see, where is that one? Ansible. So, oh wow, it's number 2 on the list right now. Wow, that's pretty good. Ansible, no. Let me see. Modern statistics, introduction to data science. Okay. Java 8, gross. Everyday Rails, 100-page machine learning book. Kubernetes book, that's a good one. Functional programming. Could have sworn he had it on here. I just saw it the other day when I logged in. So let me see, Tony. Nope. Home lab. Nope. Okay. 1 second. Let me pull that down. Okay. DA667. There it is. Bum, bum, bum. God damn it. Okay. There we go. Search. Oh. Maybe he dropped off. Okay. I could have sworn. Okay, get off the damn home lab. Because we even had him on the show talking about his books. So, yeah. Okay, god damn it. I don't. Okay, there we go. Ansible. I'll have to find it. I mean, some of these books are pretty good. I would imagine, depending on. Apparently, some people are finding them quite interesting. So, yeah, go grab those books if you're interested. Scroll back. Let me put the link to the book in the chat so that everybody has it. Okay. There we go. Copy. Book goes in the chat. There it is. All right. You can go and grab that. So, all right. File download delays. Okay. Let's see. Close that. Close that. This was a story that I had read as part of a blog post on Twitter about cybersecurity on a budget. I actually thought about having Helen on, CSO Helen on Twitter to talk about some of these things, because there are a lot of industries that can't or won't spend a lot of money on security and expect the people who are doing security to work on a shoestring budget. We've had April Murdoch, Nathan McNulty, and a score of other folks, including some of the folks from the Education ISAC on talking about, the lack of budget for IT and or security people. So I read through this. It was very good. Some of the things that Helen was talking about here on this. Traditional budgets. They say most of us walk into cybersecurity leadership role with some kind of budget. But with EDUs and healthcare and those, a lot of the money that they would put in security would be taken away from things like potentially finding teachers or getting new equipment or what have you. And it's really a value proposition. It's like you're there to save lives or you're there to secure people's data, and it's kind of hard to debate when you're saying, well, I'm here to save lives, right? I guess securing people's data could save their lives too, but it's hard to get people who aren't in security to feel that way about it. Last of my hipster water. All right. So, philosophically, some leaders don't like charging other parts of the business for security services because it may stop those customers from using security services at all. That's pretty good. I've had to do that at a couple of companies where you've had to share the wealth. Like, it's like, instead of having IT take the brunt of, say, $150,000 for Splunk or a GRC tools especially, because they're expensive as shit. A lot of departments are going to benefit from those tools, and you could argue that they need to share the load. So instead of $100,000 coming out of the IT budget for a Splunk instance, it might be $25,000, and then from the from the CFO or from operations or something like that isn't IT or security, they may also have to pony up some money to be able to maybe use that or to get a better deal on those things. Since they're your shareholders, you would think they would have a vested interest in wanting to have that option. All right. For example, yes, doing incident response, a common function, benefits the entire org. The cost for this service most likely comes out of your traditional budget with no cross charges, though I have seen direct charges to an impacted business unit for the external expenses of managing an incident. Ooh, that's interesting. Could you charge the sales team for an incident that they may have been to blame for instance? Or could you, invoice finance because they had an S3 bucket in the AWS environment that they were not managing properly? I mean, it's interesting. It's an interesting concept. However, if another unit decides to use their own security tools and processes, which causes your team to need more resources to do custom intags and additional processes, then additional work can be cross-charged to that unit. I have seen sales and marketing people or product managers who've taken the company cards and stood up EC2 instances, which makes for difficulty when finance comes to you asking you why this is being charged to the product manager's Visa card, and you're like, didn't even know that he had an AWS instance, or, what are they doing with a Splunk license, a monthly Splunk license on their cards. So that may be a symptom of a bigger problem where you might have told them no because of something and they didn't want to hear that answer and they went ahead and did it anyway. That's another issue altogether. So similarly, supporting basic security compliance requirements may come directly out of a traditional security budget. But if a product manager wants to do more than basic security in order to enter a market or please a customer, that could be a candidate for a direct charge back to that product unit. Again, the credit card is being charged by the product manager folk, and those may be traditionally IT budget for things like AWS or Azure or Google Compute or what have you, and you may get an uncomfortable email from the finance folks asking about this charge, and you'll be like, it's not our budget. So you would have to talk to the product manager about why that's a thing, and have them take it out of their budget. Don't give away security for free to other parts of the organization if you don't have to. You cannot scale without the resources to deal with internal demand. Find financial levers that will allow you to grow or shrink with business demand. That sounds like like a service-based organization. I mean, if you, we've talked about it before on the show a little bit. If your help desk is dealing with a number of things, or your security folks are dealing with a bunch of stuff, and if your product manager wants you to do something, yes, that's great. We're going to need $20,000 to do your pet project. Product manager may make them think differently when they realize they don't have carte blanche to just ask IT or security to do all the things and get away with it. Because that $20,000 that's coming out of the security budget could be used for security things for the greater org other than some product manager's pet project. So that's an interesting one. Okay. I guess this is helpful if you're a small or medium business with regards to vendors, grants, and funding. They do have grants, I guess, to invest in security capabilities. As a small or medium business, you may also, if small or medium business that actually cares about security right now, I think you have to be at a certain level for some orgs to actually think about security in that respect. Sorry. It's the week before the conference, so a lot of things are coming through. So, all right. But yeah, I mean, if you're, maybe you're a small or medium business and you got like a really big contract with a company that wants you to make sure you're doing security properly. There's definitely funding that it looks like you can gain access to, or governments are finally coming, fund to invest in security capabilities. There might be organizations, there might be, you might have to contract out, security people or IT people that do security stuff to make sure that you're getting that funding, or, doing whatever's necessary to make sure that you're maintaining your security against, if you're not the prime on the contract, you may be a subcontractor or something. You're going to be targeted potentially because of your relationship with the prime on the contract, or the prime who the prime is doing this job for. So if it's U.S. government and you're a subcontractor on that, third and fourth party. Detox Mango. Will I go to jail if I get a job at a crypto exchange and accidentally leave a duplicate API open for me? Will latency be better if only one person? I think if you start your question by will I go to jail, I'm guessing yes. That's just me. And thank you, first time chatter, Detox Mango. Thank you for coming and joining me on this stream. I yeah, questions that ask things like, will I go to jail if? Thinking, yes, they will. That was pretty much it. That and have an hour. And there's a shit ton of stuff. Sorry, I got asked a question. Oh, mute that. Yeah, me neither. Anyway, this is Detox Mango. Yeah, I'm not gonna say you'll be going to jail, but it is quite interesting you would ask that kind of question. Crypto exchange, I think, has larger problems than just you put accidentally in quotes. There's just a lot wrong with your question, my person there. Yeah, I would say definitely don't do that. Yeah, that's a rough one. I was talking to my lovely and beautiful and talented wife about cutting costs with regards to maturity of your organization. And when the more mature your security and your processes are at your org, you can actually cut costs that way, and we were talking about it and I was thinking about that. And it's like, when, if you follow the CMMI, or common maturity model, something, fucking CMMI, capability maturity model integration. There you go. So it's like the ad hoc, no process, ad hoc, defined, being documented, and whatever. When I did audits for, yeah, collating all that together is a good idea. There we go. So when you're down here with no process, you tend to have a lot more churn, right? You've got one person doing something this way, another person doing something this way, doing the same job, maybe doing differently, not having this documented, not easily repeatable. Person A, it takes 5 hours to do the job. Person B may take 7 hours to do the job. If those people are getting paid $80 an hour, obviously do the math and it adds up. As you become more mature, or having better maturity level in your organization, the more maturity, the more defined the process is, the more easily reproducible your process can be. You will actually cut time, cut costs, because especially if you can get that process down to where it's automated, where somebody isn't doing it, then it's being done on its own, where you only need to do checks on it. Ideally, we tried to get hospitals and organizations to level 3, because the idea was, at level 3, it should be a defined process. It should be written down. It should be easily followable, and it is reproducible. And so, ideally, when you're up to levels 4 or 5, you found ways to either automate that away with tools or tooling, or you're auditing the process to find ways to make the process more efficient, and save yourself some time. So 3 is probably where you always want to be. 4 and 5 can actually, there's a bit of a diminishing return there, because you are going to need time spent on the process to improve the process, but it kind of all washes out at the end, I would imagine. How many people, of the 4 viewers that I can see, and how many ever, people who are lurking, do you use the CMMI? Is it actually useful in your organizations, or is it kind of, it's just kind of an understood thing? Does anybody here use it in that respect? Let me go back over here to this. I love that. Yeah, minimum viable security is really nice. Oh, she doesn't like it. Oh, okay. There isn't such a thing, and using the term suggests that everything else above MVS is gravy. Minimal viable security might also be called compliance in some cases. I've always assumed that compliance is like here and security is just a little bit higher because not everything that you do for compliance is a security control. But then, there's some security things that aren't necessarily, doesn't necessarily jibe with compliance as well. So, the problem I always had working in enterprise environments, especially with compliance people, was to get them as champions to go beyond meeting the baseline for whatever compliance framework they had. I had a couple of folks that was like, well, we're PCI compliant. And then at that point it was like, I don't have to do anything else. And it was hard from a security point of view to get the compliance folks to go, yeah, we probably should go beyond PCI, because they didn't see any value in doing so. So it was a little difficult. PCI or HIPAA, SOC 2, there's a ton of stuff. And yeah. And the fan of triaging these items, especially looking. Detox Mango. Do you know anyone who's learned fuzzing without going through basic crack me's and stuff? That's an interesting question. I don't know anybody specifically. So let me turn the question back around there, Detox. You said, do you know anybody who's learned fuzzing without going through basic crack me's and stuff? Do you not want to go through basic crack me's and stuff to learn fuzzing, or is there a different way that you're hoping to learn fuzzing that works for you? I'm fully, in the field of, not every way is the best way for everyone to learn something. There's there's obviously more than one way of doing this. So, fuzzing how-tos. Yeah. And I guess it depends on what kind of fuzzing you're talking about too. If it's API fuzzing, you're saying crack me, so I'm guessing it's like reverse engineering type stuff. Like using P0's fuzzing tools on my phone or something. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. P0 hack. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any other ways of doing it other than that. No. I would guess I don't want to sign up for shit. That's not a good website. Binary fuzzing. What's your level of you're so Project Zero, so you're looking for like O days and stuff by fuzzing those tools or IOPS science fuzzing is effective okay, I don't know what LSTM is. Let me see. Will be trained. Oh, that's training your fuzzing tools. AFL++ and others are great if you have source code and allows for very fast and coverage guided fuzzing. There's only the binary program and no source. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't do a lot of fuzzing. So, what kind of tools do you want to use on your phone? Is there stuff that it's like you have to have the binaries in some place to do so? I mean, can't imagine fuzzing on your phone is safe to do. Could you damage your phone or damage the applications on it? Hmm. Project Zero has tools. Ah, okay. Hmm. No, I don't think that's it. How about Google Project Zero? There we go. This project contains various documents by Google Project Zero and small tools that don't need a separate GitHub project. Okay. JIT server. Hmm. Trap fuzz. Huh. NSO's groups Pegasus uses WhatsApp and text messages to hack into phones, right? I'm not sure. You might. So this actually is a good question to ask the DFIR folks in the digital forensics channel. So you can. So these folks, there are a lot of folks in there of different. Um, they're way smarter than I am, so I'm going to cede their authority. But they do have specific Discord channels. I believe there's one for Cellbrite. There's all kinds of stuff. So um, you can always go in there and ask an informed question. Hopefully you've done some due diligence and homework before you've, asked that question. Uh, they seem to be fairly friendly. I tend to kind of, just kind of lurk and talk to ferns and stuff, whatever the equivalent of that is for Discord. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely some people in there that would be able to school even, you know, even myself, which wouldn't be hard on digital forensics or doing, fuzzing of binaries or what have you. So there's a number of folks in there. So I would suggest going in there and asking those questions if you feel like that. I definitely wouldn't ask about the, hey, will somebody go to jail if, because I believe there are some law enforcement folks in there. But it is what it is. Binary coverage guided fuzzer for Windows and Mac OS. Jackalope. Oh, okay. Very interesting. A lot of good coverage guided fuzzers that work on targets. Okay. See, my thing is I've never actually done fuzzing before. I understand that there's, you're supposed to be able to add breakpoints or whatever, what have you, to be able to do these things. But I've never actually done a lot of binary reverse engineering or anything like that. So I do apologize. I'm just a weasel. What is this? They don't share zero click, no message hacks. I don't know. I am not for certain. I would say if you want to use NSO's Pegasus stuff, you are probably somebody who would have access to that. Or if not, I wouldn't use it, but that's just me. I tend to not want to use software that is heard in the news and is being used to, spy on government agencies and people. So there's a reason NSO is, persona non grata in a lot of places now. So. Of course, Cobalt Strike is met this 19-year-old who taught himself to use niche maths for analyzing, visualizing data and stuff by skipping the basics and learning to code. Like he didn't know what an eigenvalue was. Well, Detox, but he understood homology for topographical data analysis. You just used a bunch of words that I have no fucking clue what those are. So we're going to go and see what an eigenvalue is. Oh, okay. Basic linear algebra thing. Okay, yeah, there you go. It's a characteristic vector of a linear. I was told there wasn't going to be any math today, so well, I did not go to engineering school for that, so if you're a second year engineering school, yeah, I didn't take AP Calc either, so yeah. My degree was in 2008, so when I was younger and more hungry to learn that shit. So, but I would definitely reach out to if you want to have some stimulating conversation, reach out to them DFIR folks on that Discord and make it happen. And you know what? If you find yourself wanting to do some fuzzing in a public environment, hit me up. You and I can sit down and we can, enjoy a good time, and you can show people how to do fuzzing, and I'll learn something alongside you. Or, maybe I'll just ask a lot of stupid questions because I have no freaking clue what to do. So, but, of sorts. There we go. Start with minimum. So what must security function do that cannot be done by anyone else? Keep these. Okay. I like that. Farming out things that orgs can do for that. So not every security function needs to be done by the security team. So again, that's, where we might end up with the whole shift left thing, or, making sure the devs can do it, or find a nice tool that can be used, like what Detox Mango's looking for, ways to do fuzzing or testing of things before it goes out. What existing commitments has your team made that would be impossible to undo or back out of in the current budget cycle? That's a good idea too. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that people tend to buy that they no longer need or use. Or you buy it and you use like 10% of it. Or, you've gone through a reorg 3 times and this was bought back when somebody thought it was a good idea, or their buddy started working there and, I'll give my friend a commission. There's going to be some of those things. I've had no problems with just ghosting vendors when they ask, hey, are you going to re-up this thing? I've had no problems, just deleting those emails and not going back up on those. Probably didn't make me a fan of Rapid7, but it is what it is. What functions were a great idea when conceived but aren't as effective as you'd like? Yes, exactly. The tooling, or the stovepipe system that only works in one org. Maybe it's something you've been using for the past 5 or 6 years, and maybe it's gotten a little long in the tooth or no longer being supported by a support contract. Maybe it's time to either figure out if there's better options out there, or find tools that make more sense. Which functions are clearly aligned to current business objectives and which don't seem to line up anymore? That's good too. Yeah. If you're doing security and you have a roadmap or an idea on doing things, but your business objectives are crossways, find a better way to align with those business objectives. That will also help you figure out if you need to change your tooling, or getting funding, for instance. If you're doing a bunch of stuff that your business objectives aren't aligning, that may be why they're hesitant to give you more budget or to give you budget periods. So, team capacity. You have a security team of any size, I would guess that you have some team members who are completely over capacity, working ungodly hours, or generally burning out. Yeah, I think that's a lot of people these days. Yeah, consider the whole person. Yeah, I was, we're talking about capacity here, the theory of constraints, if you will. I was reading a book, or I was listening to a book, The Goal, by Eliyahu M. Goldratt. And the problem I have with the book, it's a great book. It's a little dated, especially the examples that are in there. And there's other books that are in a similar vein, like the Unicorn Project or the Phoenix Project, about CI/CD pipelines. But this one is about, you can only go as fast as your most constrained resource in many respects. This is it's an okay book. It's the audio book is kind of crap. I wasn't a fan of the person who was reading it. And like I said, the examples in the book are somewhat dated because this is a book from, I think it was originally written back in the late 70s. 2014, that's a lie. Yeah, 30th edition version. So what, 2014 minus, so it was like 1980-ish is when it first came out. So, but yeah, or 1984. Okay, 1984. So, okay. Oh yeah, theory constraints. So yeah, it's a methodology for the most important limiting factor or constraint that stands in the way of achieving a goal. The one issue that I had with the book, other than it's being dated and the examples were dated, was didn't take into account, running people hot at near 100% efficiency, actually being good in terms of, the constraint is, once you burn someone out, there's no one to replace them. And a lot of what I saw in the book did not take into account the fact that people are a resource. People can get burnt out. The reason that sometimes that they're a constraint is because they're fed up with the current working conditions, trying to run at peak efficiency all the time. So yeah, that was something that I was identify the constraint, exploit the constraints, subordinate everything else to the constraint, elevate the constraint, don't stop. Yeah. And this goes hand in hand with like process improvement. If you're trying to make something more efficient, you have to figure out where the constraint is, what's causing you to spend more time on one part of the step versus another part of the step. Yeah, and so, but yeah, it's when budgets are tight, sometimes the first thing you see is a lot of the amenities, which make it nice to work at a place, go away. Cutting travel or training is always considered extraneous, which is never a good thing if you are wanting to make sure you have people who are happy, especially if you are, hey, I want to go to DEF CON, I want to go to Black Hat. Oh, sorry, budget doesn't allow for that. When you start cutting things that people might actually see as a perk of working at your job, you're gonna start running into morale issues. You're gonna start running into having issues with people. Hey, I want to get reimbursed for my college degree. Oh, sorry, we don't have the budget for that. Sometimes getting rid of a POS piece of software or something is often better than ruining whatever goodwill you might have with your own customers. But anyway, so I mean, there's more here. You can actually go through and read this. I'm actually going to see if I can get her on to talk about some of this stuff because I think she has a lot to say with regards to that. And I think it's especially with things like work from home and zero trust and all these things. Are they those make for tight budgets, and it's an interesting discussion. So let me close that before I there we go. Anybody have anything else they want to talk about? Let me see. What did I put down here as my, discussion on budget. Let me go see. What else? Do we have any other interesting news stories this week? Threat intelligence feeds. Looks like Microsoft's check cleared at Gartner for unified endpoint management tools. CISA versus what is Detox? Oh, the cybersecurity on a budget. That's just the blog. Otherwise, this is my Feedly stuff here. This is where I get all my threat intel and all my news stories from. So, Feedly's. I've started. Been using. So I bought Feedly. Oh, share your settings. Sure. I mean, I can share my feeds and stuff, I guess. Yeah, I can do that online. I'll do it in the Google Alerts. Okay. Yeah, Feedly has had they have like various analytics for things. This is actually Feedly Pro, which I think costs $99 a year or something like that. I actually started out using Google Reader, and of course it went away, and I was trying to figure out another thing to use, and they were like, "Oh yeah, here's Feedly," and it's like, "Oh, it's free." Unless you pay like $99 for lifetime membership, which has more than paid for itself, because I think I've been using this for about a decade now. If you want the settings, I can share those in the Discord. I'll just post those up into the Discord along with some of the threat intel feeds. If you I've actually started building out my threat intel feeds based on the Sockvel quizzes. So if you go to sockvel.com, I think, /quiz, they have a weekly threat intelligence quiz that we did, I think, on the 18th. They come out weekly. So and actually the Sockvel quiz I got off the DFIR Discord as well. So damn it. There we go. But yeah, I actually had several hundred RSS feeds that I had to prune because they just weren't useful anymore for me. So I also have some RPG related items in there, not rocket propelled grenades, but and some science news, which I like talking about and reading. I read one where they said they'd actually captured the sound from a galaxy or nebula that because there was enough material inside the nebula that there was a medium for the sound to travel. So they were able to actually listen to the sound a nebula or a galaxy makes, which I found kind of cool. I'm starting my Discord here. Oh, that's okay. There's no wrong answers on that quiz there. And in a way, the write-ups from some of those articles are actually really good in terms of understanding how malware works or whatever. Several of like the Unit 42 stuff, which I believe is Palo Alto, and then MSTIC, which is the Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center. They have a ton of content in terms of write-ups and screenshots on how malware works and all those things. So I've read stories about Russian darknet forums that sell SEC filings before they release. That's interesting. If you've got links to those would be great to see. But yeah, the Sockville quiz isn't too bad. It's a it's they come out every week, so I think the next one will be like Thursday or Friday, somewhere around there. And they also have some CTF challenges for this as well. So these are not new. I think it looked like March or May 2021. But if you want to poke around on some of those, I think they're scenario based. So if you want some more DFIR challenges, those are available. I believe they also have a calendar in their Discord for those as well. I'm not selling their Discord, but they do have a lot of cool stuff in there. So Let me see. Threat intel. Come on. Feedly. There you go. Dissecting the IBAN clipper. Okay, so yeah, this is an example of one of the write-ups that they have and for Cybele threat actor striking back with financial malware. So Cybele Research Labs highlighted international banking account numbers, IBAN clipper malware after identifying a threat actor on cybercrime forum offering subscription-based services of clipper malware. Great. Genius. Targeting Windows operating systems. So yeah, and then they do technical analysis. 32-bit .NET binary targeting Windows-based operating systems. Clipper uses the following regular expression for identifying IBAN in the victim's clipboard. So that's a good one there. So they have a lot of excellent screenshots for the write-ups on these things. So there you go. Okay, clipboard notification. Current clipboard contains program IBAN. Download string localhost panel inc ib.txt. We got persistence by using get executing assembly. Copies itself into the Windows startup folder. Okay. So being able to check the startup folders helpful for that. Looks like it adds itself to the registry under the key values for Skype Web and Microsoft Store. Okay. Interesting. Go check that one out. Don't be surprised if some of the stuff in the threat intel channel that I've been looking at will end up as a part of the quizzes on the Sockville stuff. I've been trying to do a better job of keeping abreast of threat intelligence stuff, especially as it affects certain technologies that I do on a regular, I work with on a regular basis. So, oh yeah, Apple and Google both patched the WebKit O days. I think this is the WebKit O days that they were talking about. Since they both use WebKit. Yeah, ESET. Yeah, okay, great. They got music. Let's see. Commonplace. 0-day vulnerabilities. Yeah. So these are the WebKit vulnerabilities that they talked about. This guy looks like he should be on ESPN or something. Apple out of bounds issue with WebKit linked execution of arbitrary code by sending a specially crafted web content package. Yeah. Yep. So they've fixed those patches and sent those out. I think they affected iPads, iOS, and I want to say Mac OS as well. So there's some updates there. And in Google Chrome, if you're not using like 104 dot something, or for Microsoft Edge, if you're not using, the equivalent Chrome, then you can run into some issues. Step-by-step guide to enjoy LinkedIn safely. I think step 0 is stop advertising who the hell you work for. That's a problem. But people forget that shit. I really wish LinkedIn had a better way of logging in. I think I still have SMS 2-factor on there, which isn't ideal. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it is one of those things where, how do I verify my account on your Discord? So you're not the only person to have issues with this, but so in the rules and info channel, there is a OK button that you have to read the terms and conditions and click OK. So, yeah, I know. Hey, Super Lolly. Yeah, people don't read terms and conditions. They don't also read the follow instructions or you cannot get in, break set community code of conduct. Please make sure you click the OK reaction at the bottom of this post on the box there. Yeah, it's, and it's in bold, and it says you can't get in unless you click OK at the bottom of the reaction on this post. So yeah. Yeah, it's a thing. Peppermint leaves. Let me see. Peppermint leaves. Okay. Mr. Mango. Okay. Thank you, Detox. Appreciate you. There you go. So there you are, Detox. You're in. I will. I'll add. So if you want to get started on some of the things, Detox, that Sackville quiz, when you pick a choice and you get it right or wrong, they give you a link to the news story. I find I'm just adding those RSS feeds to my Feedly. I don't know how it would work for Google for Google alerts, but yeah, those are definitely options. I was actually looking at the Discord at the time, so. Fuck that shit, Garner, whatever. Oh. From Ramnet to Bumblebee via NeverQuest, similarities and code overlap shed light on relationships between malware developers. Oh, there you go. That's pretty good. Okay. Significant code overlap between Bumblebee and Ramnet, suggesting they may share the same developer. Oh. Custom code library used in both Bumblebee and Ramnet soft malware and TrickBot Trojans. Evidence potential collaboration between the developers of NeverQuest and TrickBot in the early days of TrickBot's development. It's pretty cool. Well, Super Lolly, I would say people don't read the T's and C's, but they have to follow them in the Discord. As with our Slack, I have zero tolerance for various things, and it is what it is. We can ban people. We will ban people. We tend to not want to ban people, but as long as they act nicely, then we won't ban them. So, how you doing today, Super Lolly? It's early your time, early Tuesday morning. How was your Monday? You doing all right? Okay. Yeah, I guess so. There we go. Wish you could come and hang out at our conference there, Super Lolly. It's a bit of a hike for you. Yeah, Mondays are Mondays, right? So it's it is what it is. So let me pull down this tab here. So we have a typical BreakSec recording on Wednesday night. It's 6:30 Pacific time, which is about 2 hours from now. And I'm mostly focusing on building crypto HFT bot nowadays, but sometimes I'll spend a weekend reading about InfoSec or doing security related educational stuff. What's an HFT bot? High finance transfer bot? Or did you mistype and it's NFT? More evil markets. It's never been easier to buy initial access. High frequency trading. Okay. You haven't seen it. Is the ass falling out of the NFT environment, or is it never not too volatile in the crypto markets there, Detox? Because I mean, a lot of people lost their ass on Bitcoin, and apparently there's a new merge of Ethereum that's going to do something. I didn't bother reading what it was about. It felt like clickbait, but I think it was clickbait. It was like, oh no, Ethereum is going to be changing. Click here to figure it out. And I was like, yeah, okay, I don't want to do that. But I heard there was going to be a merge of something happening. So Yeah, here's a good mark right up. Detox Mango, underrated comment of the, we're in a bear market. I would say I'd say crypto is definitely in a bear market there. So, but I guess we're all what hodl, right? So, oh, yeah, that's true. How far do you think we're in our crypto bear market recession thing? Has it been about 4 months now? So we're about halfway through on your 9 to 16 month, or you think it's going to last longer? And I have some Ethereum, but I bought it when it was like 3,000 something. So it's never going to make its money back. So I fully expect Ethereum to not make its money back because I think I bought it through PayPal, so I bought it at a premium as it is. But one of these days, it'll be about as useful as my Dogecoin is, I'd imagine. So, all right. So, who do we have on? Oh, Tiberius is on. Okay. Okay. There we go. Copy. All right. Cool. Well, I'm going to close that. There are 4 stages of the. Is this the crypto recession market, or is this the overall market all told? Ah, okay. I know I bought regular stock like Microsoft and some Amazon stuff. You know, when I thought it was going to bottom out. I think I'm on its way back up, but I did buy some Microsoft stock when it was like, I don't know, 250, something like that, because it was originally like 350, 375. I was watching that on my E-Trade account. I don't have the wherewithal to do things like options trading and all that. All the information I have about options trading came from trading places. So unless it's frozen concentrated orange juice, I have no clue. So it is what it is. So I actually have a meeting in about 2.5 minutes. I have to go back to like work over here. So I'm going to go. Thank you, Detox. Thank you, Super Lolly. Thank you to, let me see, who else joined us today? Banza IMF. It was Ted. Thank you for that. For those of you going to the InfoSec Campout, I will post up the snippet of the video at the beginning here to YouTube, so you'll have it to refer to. Yeah, I'm gonna take off now. There's not enough people to raid Tiberius, but I would suggest going and checking out Tiberius if you'd like to. He's doing some mentoring Monday. There's quite a few folks who are online right now, but yeah, go check out those folks, and feel free to ask questions over there. And yeah, we'll be back Wednesday night with a break sec discussion. Ms. Berlin, Mr. Betcher, and myself will be on, and we'll talk about some cool stuff. So hope you all have a good rest of your day. Super Lolly, take care, stay safe, and we'll all talk soon. All right, bye everybody.